So, we'll see what anybody has to say about this. I brought this to. This is cool. Yeah, you'll like this. I brought this to PAX East, and I got to show it to, like 50 people or so. But now I've got 260 people, so I wonder if you guys can see this. Here, I need to Alt Tab out of this, and maybe I'll do this instead. Let me edit. Video capture device, position size, fit to screen, and then bring it forwards. Order, move up. Ah! Now you can see me in all of my full glory. Okay, cool. So, maybe you guys can see this. This is my Nexus 7. Yeah. And on it I have a presentation about Eternal Crusade, and I brought that to PAX East. So let me go through it for you here on my stream. So this is the video, or the concept art that you've all seen before, just of the 4 classes and races, or the 4 races. And let's see, I need to swipe that way. So the orcs, which I can talk a little bit about. I forget the name of the 4 clans. I'm so sorry. I don't play orcs. I only play Dark Eldar. So I think it's Goths, Death Skulls, Evil Suns, and Bad Moons. So this is one of the heroes that we're currently working on making for the orc. And this is one of the very early concept art. So if you're like, oh my god, a concept art looks so blurry, why can't you focus it, Steven? It's because it's actually very, very sketchy concept art. This is a cyborg, which is one of the heroes you'll get to play as if you play as the orcs. And our heroes are things like... they're like the special elite classes, or heroes, like HQ classes on the tabletop, where every once in a while you'll be able to call down this really powerful unit and play as him until you get killed once, and then he's gone. So I think that's going to be a really cool aspect of the game. So, yep, gotta go that way. That's the next one, is the Scarboy Commando, is another concept for one of our heroes. For Chaos, we've got the Fallen, who's I want to say Dark Eldar, but it's not the Dark Eldar. It's the Dark Angels. He's a Dark Angel Chaos Space Marine, basically. And then this is a Possessed Marine, who's the work in progress concept art for the Possessed Marine. Eldar. So someone asked about the status of the Eldar. Here is our first character model for the Dire Avenger, right here. That's what they were working on just when I left. So I don't know, by now they may have a working Eldar character class in game. Who even knows? I'm not actually sure. Suspicious Pineapple, it's like an extreme version of the Max suit, because we also have a Max suit, because the Terminator is like a Max, where you pay a certain amount of in-game currency, like what we call requisition points, and then you can spawn as a Terminator, and you're as a Terminator for 1 life, and then when you die, then you have to purchase it again, or there's a cooldown or something like that. But for heroes, they're like a 1-day cooldown. You can only play as this hero once per day. That's all under discussion and under design, but that's where we're thinking at the very moment. So, yes. Moving on with this. Space Marines, yeah. So there's like the Space Marine character model. So neither the modeling nor the texturing on the Dire Avenger is final yet. The modeling is final on our Space Marine character model here, but the texturing is not. In fact, we're working on some very interesting stuff. I was really excited to see the kind of art tests that our art director was doing with one of the concept artists just before I left. And now that I've been gone for 2 weeks, I'd love to see what they've gotten in the meantime. I feel totally out of it. It's really a shame. This is just like a little action shot that people set up. Just one of our animators set it up so that they could really art it out and make it look awesome. So that's a very basic placeholder model there. Now we actually have a more final version of that looks totally awesome. This is the concept art for the... God, I'm trying to get all these reflections off of my Nexus. This is the concept art for the Tyranids, which I think we sent out in our most recent newsletter, but it's not on our it's not on our website. So I need to like poke somebody at work and say, hey, can we get the concept art for the Tyranids added to the website? Here's one of the first character models for our Hormigant. Work in progress. Obviously, parts of it are not textured, parts of it are textured. So this is my favorite part because this is what I actually work on. So I do something that looks like this, which is just what we call a gray box. And then a concept artist takes it and turns it into that. I think that's pretty cool looking. And then a modeler takes it and turns it into that. And then a texture artist takes it and turns it into that. And that's what it looks like when we put it into the game. And we've got a couple of these buildings placed around now. They're kind of bunkers or storage houses. And this one has some really good gameplay going on inside of it right now. The inside of the bottom floor, there's just one big square block that you have to sort of circle around. Mad Cat Nids are NPCs only right now. I work at boxes. Tyranids are NPCs only. We don't have any plans to make them playable, unfortunately. I know that's really disappointing for some people. And like when I first started playing Warhammer 40,000, I started playing as the Tyranids. But I think they'll work really, really cool as an NPC threat. Here is concept art for our first environment that we're working on during pre-production. It's starting to really look like that. The only thing that's missing is sort of the sky and some of the smaller props in the environment. Oh yeah, the compilation of info thread in the Eternal Crusade forums is a really good one. Here's another action shot with Chaos Space Marine models instead of Space Marine models, and they have more art done on them than the previous shot that I showed you. Ooh, the user interface. So this is what it'll look like when you log into the game. Oh, this is so ghetto. I love it. It's so great. So like down here, there's like a scrolling text feed showing you what sort of battles are going on in your area right now. And here you actually see the planet of Arcona. Down below you, and all these data points are actually live data feeds that are updating in real time, showing you where battles are taking place. Whoops, I keep going backwards. That's like choosing your faction. Here's what it would look like when you're in the spaceship. Now this environment is not final. In fact, it's not even our environment. It's composited together from images on the internet, but that's what we want it to look like. This is a mock-up that our UI artist, Nicolas Brunoni, put together just to show you what the game is going to look like in-game. So you can see here, I don't know if you guys can actually see because the camera is so shitty. It's the worst thing ever. This is where you would edit your loadout for your different characters. So this is like your tactical, and up over here, about there, you can see it says like 968 points or something like that. That's because each of your loadouts has a points value, much like your army on the tabletop. And you can fill that points value however you want. But of course, if you take the really high quality, relic quality melt-a-gun, then that's going to cost a lot more points than your bolter. So, you have to make those trade-offs. Do you want to take the high-quality melt-a-gun, or do you want to take the lower-quality bolter and put those points somewhere else in your build, like your survivability? So yeah, you can change your accessories, which are kind of like certifications, but we want all of your accessories, or all of your accessories, to feel like physical items. This is like changing different plasma pistols. Here's where you can upgrade, and like the first version of the way you can upgrade and edit your plasma pistol. So you've got like different components that you can socket into your items, and then you can upgrade each of those components. I'm not certain how final that design is yet, but I think it's a really cool one. I haven't been back to work for 2 weeks, so I don't know where that stands, but I think it's a really neat. I think it still represents the direction we want to go. Here's where you've got all of the items in your upgrade inventory. So yeah, this is like where you choose your advancements. So like you're choosing the gyro stabilizer advancement, which is an accessory. So it feels like an item, but it's not an item that you have to go find out in the world. Stop that. I'm talking about Eternal Crusade. We're not done. It's not an item that you go find in the world. When you purchase the advancement, which is kind of like a certification, you just get the item. And every time you equip it, it actually shows up on your character, especially if it does something really big for you, because we want players to be able to look at the enemies that are charging towards them and say, aha, I know what that guy is going to be doing when he gets to me. So like you can see the gyro stabilizer on the knee over here. And then, of course, we've got different UIs for Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, Orcs, and Eldar. So this would be the Space Marine UI, for example, and that would be the Chaos Space Marine UI, because we really want to support that core identity. And that's the end of the presentation that I brought with me to PAX East. So I hope you guys liked getting to see some more cool stuff about Eternal Crusade that I didn't even know I was going to show off today. So that's exciting and fun. So, will it have similar requirements as PS2? Do you mean like technical requirements from your machine? I don't even know, unfortunately. I would have to say that I think currently we're aiming for Xbox One as like minimum spec. And since we're launching 2 years from now, that'll be a lot of time for people to upgrade their machines or, anything like that. Maniac Highwire, I did see Dungeon World making unique stuff for Eben. I think that's really cool of them. Those guys are really cool guys. All right, y'all, I'm going to go eat some lunch. Oh my God, my arms are peeling like grossness. That's the worst. Ugh. I got a little sunburn. I'm going to try to come back at, let's call it at 4 p.m., which is basically in 2 hours' time. I'll come back and I'll keep streaming Dark Souls. And we'll see how far we can get and how many more deaths. Oh God, hey chat, how many deaths am I at? Is it 17? Am I at 17 deaths? Or am I still at 16? Yeah, imagine one of the, I think it's a fine strategy, but one of the dangers of the strategy we've chosen is that we've announced the game really early. And because of that, people heard about it really early, and then, they're waiting and waiting and waiting. So we want to do what we can to get the game into players' hands as soon as possible. 17. I think I'm at 17 deaths. Yep. Awesome. Cool, guys. Thanks. Be back in 2 hours, and thank you all for hanging around. That was a lot of fun for me today. I think all the VODs are up on Twitch. I don't have any subs or anything like that, so they're freely available for anybody who's curious what happened. So I'll see you all in a bit. Bye.